best wishes to her.
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't hear it. What?
I said, Terry Sweets in Dartmouth, she's been ordered for about 3 weeks.
Maybe we get a card.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. Next is an executive session.
Okay.
A brief conversation about contract that we have to approve later on. And some updates. So is there a motion to enter an executive session for matter of contract? Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Inviting anyone?
Yes, invite in HR director and superintendent, please. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Again, is superintendent.
Evening, everyone. Few things. I don't know how many members from this board ever go to the joint conference, but it is coming up again, the Vermont School Board Association, Vermont Superintendents Association Annual Conference. It's October 26th and October 27th at Lake Maury Resort. If you would like to attend, you can contact Amy Goslin in my office, and she can get you registered for that. And I'm sure you probably got a mailing from your association, but just wanted to remind that. School for staff starts Mondays. School for our students starts Wednesday. Before COVID, we did a traditional opening, and before our merger, we do these big gatherings at our auditorium in Mount Anthony, and all staff from all schools would attend and would have a keynote speaker, presentation, whatever, community partners. COVID shut that down, and as we came out of COVID, we had few member schools that made it no longer physically possible to continue that. So this will be the third annual SVSU Central Office bus tour. So we get a bunch of central office employees, like HR will be there, finance will be there. There's different handouts and different information, so people in each building can maybe put a face with the person that they've been emailing for a year. So we will be here on Monday at approximately 11:30, and it's a combination of Fisher and Arlington Memorial High School, and then we're off to other schools. So it's a pretty packed schedule for 2 days to go to every school and building. Like we will also go to the On Point program at Beach Street and Congress Street. So it will it's a tight little packed as long as it's fun. And there's handouts that go on the bus that and meet and greets. We put a pop-up tent up, and so there's a visual that people can find us under. So 11:30 on Monday, if you're welcome to stop by. The couple of projects we've been working, we've had a speaker series before. This will be our third year of a speaker series. This year, the theme of the speaker series is getting to know the SVSU. You will all get it. It's not ready yet. This is something that we handed out on the bus tour, but I also will send it all out to all board members. And you get exciting topics. Like September features public information coordinator talking about their role, and the superintendent talking about their role, and everything from early childhood education. We're also reaching out. We're having a speaker from the Agency of Education who will be here. And I think he's coming in March. You must know Bob Stafford. So Bob Stafford is somebody that most educators may not want to hear from. He's somebody who does license investigations, but it's critical for his talk will be like remind people how to stay positive and stay out of trouble. And so I'm thrilled that he'll be able to join us as one of the speakers. So that you will get that. This is just put together. And then the other project that we've been working on this summer is the SVSU staff guide. It started as HR is overwhelmed with emails coming in because and a lot of them just go to Nick because, you know, he'll respond. But it's, so we tried to break down a list for HR. We have a question about, because there's a lot of people that work in HR. You have a question about your health insurance, this is who you should contact. You have a question about your 403B, this is who you should contact. You're making a lane change, this is who you should contact. So that HR guy then went to this. And again, this is still draft. Once it's done, and it's going to be hopefully handed out Monday, so it is done, then I will send it to all boards. But it starts, you know, with an introduction of the area. This is a pamphlet that we'll be able to use if we're going to job fairs or to hand to new employees. You would think that we already had something like this, but we didn't. And it has all the schools are listed in here, all the school staff hours are listed in one place, so employees can find it. All the resources of human resources, every employee, what their email is, what their area of responsibility is in HR, so you can easily find the right person, curriculum department, the finance department, who are their key people in finance and what their role is, so if someone needs to contact them. Same with student services. I don't think that this is going to be static. This is something that will probably always need to be updated as personnel change. And I think this is a document that once we put it out there, I know I'm going to get feedback, and even though we did give it out to our principals and assistant principals and directors to look at for feedback. Once it's being used, there'll be suggestions that will come forward about how we can improve it, if that's what we want. So it'll be a living document. We shared both of these documents with our administrators. We had as we do every summer, we had a 2-day administrative retreat. The retreat is maybe being a little too generous. They go to work for 2 days, train. We really emphasized policy instruction, but work with some fun. So the morning was presentations on certain key policies that we think principals need to be. Are you smirking because it wasn't fun?
No, we're wondering if you have a video to share.
Maybe. So at the end of the first day, then it was called the policy game, and there were 7 teams competing on completing information on policies that they had to find within the policies. Are you this because you were on the winning team? And there were prizes.
My team. Oh, Nick was on my team.
I'm not
I think it
aware
was
of
a
any
voting
cheating,
team.
but there were prizes. Some teams did better than others.
I had Dina. You would have thought.
And you would have thought, the SVSU attorney who did present on legal updates also, she stayed for the policy game, and she was not on the winning team. So, so that was day 1, and then day 2 we had a keynote speaker, whose the theme for this was slowing the pace to support decision making. So we're all overworked, we're all stressed at certain times. So trying to give tools to your administrators on dealing with those issues. So the keynote speaker talked about really how to manage your emails, which we talked about historically how emails were a minor tool to now could easily dominate your work life. Maybe somebody who's in HR might have disagreed with some of her suggestions about how to manage your folders in email, but so Porter Knight, as she's a Vermonter, Renee Gordon, our Director of Finance, had seen her at a VASPO conference, the Vermont School Board Association, and highly recommended her. I believe she was well received by the staff, and she is coming back when we do our midwinter meeting. She's coming back, or she just committed today that she will come back, but she only wants to commit to at least only virtual because of what January weather may be. So I don't like the one and done presentations. I like to keep following up to give it more substance. And then how did we end that administrative retreat? And that one, somebody might talk about a video. So in the past, that I've done things at our administrative retreat. There was for a number of years the superintendent's annual miniature golf tournament, complete with trophies, as a team building activity. Then we've done painting days, we've done scavenger hunts, we've had trivia competitions. So how do I challenge our administrators, build teamwork, make you a little bit uncomfortable, because I frame it this way, we ask our students to do a lot of things that they're uncomfortable with, and we work them through that challenge. So how can I have our administrators feel that way? So we brought on the Mount Anthony Union Chorus Director, and she formed the first ever SVSU administrative chorus, and chose one song, and we had 90 minutes to learn it. We were divided up to sopranos, altos, and baritones, and then we finally got a final product. And there is a video that I will be happy to share. Would anyone like to share a few lines from the song that we learned?
Nick.
It was Backstreet Boys. I like that one. So yes.
Wait a minute, you were all excited about that song when it was
Right in my
announced.
wheelhouse. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd appreciate a copy of that video.
So we all thought we sounded great, maybe not so much when you watch it, but again.
I think we don't show the video and just say we were amazing.
Okay, we were amazing.
We were amazing.
Yeah. I think the best thing about the video is the sun is coming through a window, shining behind, so like I'm kind of blocked out in the video, so I'm happy with that. I like to combine learning with fun and a little bit of a challenge, and I hope that Lynn Sweet did a remarkable job. And we were here, we were in Manchester at Wilburton, and that's where we were today. So we didn't stay overnight, that's where the venue was. So that's what we've been doing this summer, and I wish everybody a great school year as we start again. So.
Great. Any questions for the superintendent? Super. Next is reports of the principal. Because you're the one sitting, I'll let you go first.
Thank you. So first, I can't remember if I let you know about summer recovery, but summer recovery was successful. We had a great collaboration with the YMCA for aftercare at the rec park that went really well. Our only glitch was the Lions pool because of the algae that was created, but the Arlington Fire Department was able to come. It was that 1 week of summer that we had way early when it was really humid. That's when they couldn't swim, so they were super helpful in going down and just sort of pulling them off those 2 days, and they were able, I think, to swim 2 or 3 days. But the swimming was a hit, and so Kayla is looking to increase our numbers and our participation moving forward next year. Now that we sort of have the groundwork done, our construction projects are wrapping up. The spaces look amazing, and they'll be done and wrapped up on Friday. Hopefully, our floors are done. But I'm happy to give tours to the new spaces because I'm a very visual person, and so I did not think that is how they were going to look, and they are amazing. And so we've created the 2 additional spaces because we've also put up another wall. And so please come and have a tour and see what we have done. A thank you to Vince, Tina, Jamie, and Kyle Hess, who we employed for the summer. They've worked tirelessly to get our buildings ready for summer and continue to work. I was telling Todd earlier, Vinny was in until 3 a.m. because we need to get the floors waxed. And construction kind of held us up because they had to get into the ceiling along certain parts of the 2 sets of walls. So we are super helpful that by Friday, 3 o'clock, we're ready to go. Kitchen staff's coming tomorrow to start prepping their spaces. And so teachers have been able to get in their buildings. They just enter through their exit back doors. Vinny goes through and opens them all up. And so teacher spaces are absolutely ready. It's more of the hallway access that they don't currently have. Thanks to Ben for getting up all the Chromebooks updated and smart boards hung and all the new spaces. We have 2 temporary TVs because we didn't allocate enough funds for smart boards for 2 new spaces. And so those will be in the next, Ben will allocate those in the next budget. A thank you to Kara. We've had a number of students leave, but then you know what happens when students leave, new ones come. So we've had about 7 leave and 7 new come in. So we'll be at about the same enrollment up next year, somewhere between 210 and 250. We're welcoming 5 new staff. We will be fully staffed to start the year. We have Sam Bradley, who will be our grade 3 teacher, Catherine Rose, our reading interventionist, and Danielle Colvin, Zach Thompson, and Cooper Jennings as paraprofessionals for us. And a thank you to Nick for sort of getting all of those hires done for us so that we are starting fully staffed. Information has gone out to parents via email, which includes bus routes, school calendar, new staff lists. Some of the pre-K families already have their first aid packets, so we'll have all of their emergency information. We've given them the SU ASD handbook, the Fisher information packet will go home on day 1, along with an email. And teachers have also got their welcome letters. Our website has been updated to reflect any of the new staff members and anything new that's up and coming. And emails have been sent to the staff regarding, obviously, the new staff, our PD schedule for the 28th and 29th. And we also have some save the dates. So our Fall Fest, PTG will host Fall Fest earlier this year, so it'll be September 8th, right on the Fisher Field. And our hope is that it's not as cold and as dark. So we've bumped it up a little bit. And our open house will be on the 21st, which will also include our title meeting just prior to the open house. I think that's all.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I'll start off with Summer Academy and Summer Recovery. Summer Academy, we had 7 students attend our Summer Academy, and that was taught by Lynn McClellan, Brian Howe, and that ran for 5 weeks this summer. And then our Summer Recovery was the high school. We had 6 students attend, and the content teachers were Brian Howe taught science, Marshall Cross math, Luke Krieger English, and Hooper Pickering social studies. I wanted to just update you. We have public high school choice. So we have 2 new students coming from the south, and we have 13 total right now for public school choice. At this time, we have 8 tuition students, which is a couple more than we've had in the past. Right now, we are having new students entering. Joanna worked all day today on new student schedules, and we have had a couple of students withdraw. So I anticipate we're going to have, our numbers might be a little higher next year than they were this year. We are welcoming 3 international students. Nicholas is coming to us from Mexico. Sebastio is coming from Brazil, and Pedro from Spain. 2 are here, and 1 is hopefully on their way. So that's
Gosh, no.
No.
Not staying.
that's always exciting. We do really enjoy having international students in our school population, and they bring a lot of culture, but also enjoyment. And I believe all 3 of them are going through summer. And then some are playing basketball, and then we always can wrangle a couple to play baseball, just for the fun of things.
They
And
wanna
we have
play
2 play baseball, right?
They want to, they've never.
They want to. So that's great. All our fall athletics have started. We're offering soccer, golf, and cross country in the middle school and high school, like we have over the last few years. Our welcome letters to staff and families have gone out. And a big thank you to all the summer staff who work. Walt, Mike, Jamie work in the building. Ben does all of our technology. We did receive a lot of new Chromebooks from the SVSU. So we're working right now. We have 2 student volunteers coming in tomorrow to try to switch over so we can be ready for Wednesday. Switch over all the tag numbers and get everything logged in. Joanna, Chantel, Kendall, James, Rachel have worked all summer just trying to get us ready for the start of the year. Also, building renovations. So some summer updates, building renovations. The main bathrooms in both middle school and high school hallway are well on their way to being completed, which is exciting. They look great. The middle school wing is pretty much done, so that floor has been waxed. Our high school wing, the bathrooms are still being tiled, so we're hopeful that we can get in and wax, but we may just be able to get in and scrub before the school year starts. And so we'll have to wax over Christmas or the holiday break. And then we did get our partitions in the gym, locker rooms, and lobbies. So those have been put in. Clyde Baker came in and did the work with those. We are hopeful that the partitions for the bathrooms will be in. If not,
You're building temporary, right?
we're building temporary partitions because we got all the hardware. So we could put all the hardware in, it's just the actual partitions. So they'll put up, there's no way. They will put up temporary partitions. We completed the MTSS manual. The Arlington School District Handbook is out and on the website. The AMHS Family Information Guide will go out on the first day of school. We've hired 5 new staff. Stephanie Adams is a paraprofessional. Ray Baruman is our middle school science teacher. Sydney Morton is high school mathematics. Emily Grabowski is our licensed social worker. And Beverly Kodokome is our Spanish teacher, who has not arrived yet. We are working on it, and she will get here. We don't know exactly when. It's nothing that we are, it's not us, it's government visa stuff. So James and I will make plans for what we do until her arrival. We did a lot of work on policies and procedures this year. Worked on our continuous improvement plan and our Title I, our school family compact, and then the last 4.5 weeks working on staff professional learning and getting ready for 2 days with teachers and staff before the school year starts. Our athletics, important dates, our athletics have begun. We are having a welcome new families, which includes our 6th grade families, on Monday evening, our first day of school, and then our title meeting is on September 12th, which is a required meeting, federal requirement, and then on September 20th, we have our open house, and September 27th is our first early dismissal.
Thank you. Any
Welcome.
questions?
Any questions?
Yeah, when you said you had, I think it was 12 kids coming here and like 4 or 5 are tuition, does that mean that the other ones all are coming from the SVSU?
So we have 13 students who are coming from the SVSU through the public school choice. And then we have 8 who are paying to come here. So that would be Dorset, Sandy, Sunderland. None from Manchester, and we could have the potential of 1 or 2 from London area, which we're working on.
Do you know how many, have we lost any?
Lost any students?
Yeah.
We always have, I don't know the exact number, I can get it for the September meeting. Last I knew, we had some move out and some choose other schools, but I can get that number for you for September.
Sarah, we had talked at one point about if, and maybe this isn't the right timing for it, but whether or not it makes sense to run a bus for school choice students to facilitate their ease of access of our schools. I don't know if, at what point that conversation it would make sense to bring that back around, but
Yeah, I
not an
think-
answer for right now, just as you were talking about school choice students.
I think the conversation around recruitment is one
Yep.
that the board should probably talk about, not to tell you what to do, but that's something that we put a big push in a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And we have maintained, 8 is more than we
Yeah, usually.
yeah. But I would welcome that conversation again.
And we
Whether
had
it's
started a
community-
small committee just before COVID.
Yeah,
We
right.
started to meet and we're doing some good stuff. That was one of the topics of bringing a bus to a location in the Manchester area to help with that, but then COVID hit and completely changed our priorities and what we were doing and stopped that. But it's probably time to reopen those conversations and recreate that small subcommittee to see what we can do to continue the recruitment for tuition students.
And I know that this doesn't impact tuition specifically, but this conversation came up recently as potential host families were reaching out that live in school choice communities because unless international students come through the independent schools, they're not placing additional students outside of their own programs. So there were families who lived in school choice communities who would choose to send their student here if there was transportation provided. So that is what made me think about it again.
Yeah.
Not that we run a bus for international students, but we could probably run a bus for,
Nobody has,
Other kids.
from northern tuition towns, I have not received a phone call asking us to provide transportation.
Maybe just a quick survey of those sending individuals, it's only 8 of them, right? And potentially a couple more, we just ask them if it would help. I'm not saying we're going to do it, if it's something that they would utilize.
Well, some of them are saying,
Oh, that's true, so we already got
so we already provide the transportation.
How many are there?
Well, I'd have to look at the list. The majority are. I think we only have 3. So 5 maybe? I think we have 3 that are coming from northern towns. 1 from Dorset. 1 from Sunderland. And then Londonderry.
And I've also asked Sarah and to ensure that it's a difficult task, but to ensure students are living where they're supposed to be, living within the town of Arlington. Because many students move to say Sunderland or Sandy, and they don't necessarily notify, us or the superintendent's office. If they move, it's okay that they go to school here, but we need to be billing those towns appropriately. So it's just something that we have to try to look at from time to time. So, it's not always easy, but just make sure that this one student is between $50,000 and $20,000, which isn't a huge amount of money, but it's certainly an amount of money that should be following the student.
Todd, I know that Matt was on your group to talk about kind of recruitment strategies, right? It was you and Matt.
Yep.
I'd be very interested in
Yeah, I think we
getting
should.
involved if that's going to get going.
I too, let's add it to our next agenda for
Yeah.
like a subcommittee conversation.
Okay.
We'll get that going.
Okay.
Because I think that was it's been one of our long-term goals, is recruitment from the board.
Yeah.
When we were doing it, that's when we started enticing some, open the door up. It's probably time to really start that back up again. The open houses that you were doing at the time were really big hit. We got kids, parents, and more in our schools to see in a non-school setting, you can see and talk to students. Sarah did a good job of bringing in students during those open houses to walk around with potential students from other places. I think that it's mainly probably re-engage that.
Was there more that came back than that come back?
I mean, I think our highest point from the SVSU, I should say Mount Anthony because it's the only sending place, we were at 18. It was the highest, I think.
I think we set the number of students to come at 18. I think the most we've ever had is 15. At one point, we had enough apply that if everybody said they were going to come, it was going to be 18. So that's why the board set the number at 18, but then some chose not to come.
Yeah, and then it's varied from the north. Some years we'll have. I mean, we've always had San Diego students, maybe less than demographics have changed there. But for the first time, we're starting to get students from further north in San Diego. So and part of that is just getting the message out that they are school choice students. That's not really a well-known fact.
It's not presented that way.
Right. So
That's what we should be looking to.
yeah, and we've tried many things. We've been denied opportunities. Without getting too deep into it, we've been denied opportunities to get into elementary schools or middle schools to present who we are. We've tried a bunch of different things.
Floodbrook invites us every year.
Who does?
Floodbrook,
Yep.
they invite us every year to do, they do a high school presentation in all the local high schools. They do Green Mountain, Herbert, Arlington, Long Trail. So Floodbrook does a really nice job, and every year we go to theirs.
There's a lot of competition up in the area. Long Trail.
And the further up the mountain you get, in either direction, you get into Green Mountain and then, right? Vermont Academy, so there's a lot.
Thank you very much.
And to that point, just at the start of the school year, you guys have so many new staff members and exciting programs. Just to, as a not a nudge, but you have a lot of great stories to tell. If we can get press releases out on some of those exciting things, that'd be great to see. Outside of the newsletters, if we could get the banner to pick up some of your exciting programs.
Missy did we'll have to have Missy, we had a lot featured this year. She did a breakdown of what was actually featured, what was not, and more than ever this year, we had a lot of great publicity between sports and events and international nights, and Deanne had a couple events, we had more than ever.
It helps
the
when
banner.
Gary's taking pictures.
Gary's working,
Because
yeah.
when Gary takes the pictures, he submits them and then they want the story. They don't have time, they're hard to get.
Yeah.
When you submit it, then they want the story.
Yeah. We'll continue to do that.
Okay. Next on our agenda is the Arlington Support Staff Association contract. To my understanding, there's been an agreement reached. So, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the Arlington Support Staff contract.
I don't think you said it.
Jessica had it all written down. She was
Oh,
ready.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Please make the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Arlington Support Staff Association collective bargaining agreement.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Anybody opposed? I am an abstention. Next is our consent agenda, and I will read that for the record. We have the minutes of the July 12th meeting. We have warrants. We have no retirements. We have no leave of absences. We have 3 resignations. Amanda Harrington, paraeducator, Bill Moses, paraeducator, and Nicole Morris, paraeducator. And we have no nominations, no field trips. So we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda with changes to the minutes. If that's an appropriate way to do it.
It is, just tell us what those changes are.
Under the motion to approve the Arlington Educators Association, it doesn't say what the document was, so if it could just be added that that was the association collective bargaining agreement as written, and then I think it was pending review by the HR director. And we can go through that. And then the other two were the non-union employee contract and the principal contracts. Those were motions to approve the proposed increases with a salary study to be reported back to the board.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I have a question. I was reading Bill Moses, educator, and I was just caught when he said he's leaving because he can get a license and he'll have a lot more opportunities. I was just wondering, is that what did he teach here, or what school was he?
He was a paraeducator for special education. It's my understanding that he's taken up a job as a PE teacher. You know, I'm a PE teacher. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Next, we have finance, which you will see updates on the website. No action is needed there. In operations,
I do have a question on the finance, and I don't know, Jim, if you could just, is there a year-end report, sort of final year-end report that Renee has done, will do?
I'd be happy to ask her, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
Does she file something with the state for fine?
Just for us to be able to see
What your balance is?
where we ended up
Yeah.
at the end of the year. I know we'll talk about it when we start doing budgets, but I am just.
Renee's bringing her daughter to college today. So a year, you want to see like what fund balances are. I think that-
Yeah, the
Yep.
year-end summary.
And it certainly would help as you go into budget planning.
And I know she'll do it then, so she doesn't have to create additional work if that is forthcoming. I'm fine with whatever the timing is.
okay, next under operations, we have our playground construction. And I believe what we need here is approval to pay the additional monies to have the contractor do the installation as opposed to.
You have the Jim Holler, and that's, you're exactly right with what that is. You had gifted 25,000, it took you 33,000, estimate labor install $8,000, that's not right.
And we talked about taking that out of our capital improvement fund. So we need a motion to approve that amount, as well as a motion to approve that amount to come out of the capital improvement fund. Is there a motion to approve the additional 8,000? Is you have the exact number there?
No, I do not. I got an estimate of 8,000, that's,
So it would be an additional $8,020.28 to be exact, to pay for the installation. So is there a motion to approve the additional $8,020.28 for the installation of the pre-K playground?
I would make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And I'll entertain a motion to approve that amount of money, $8,020.28, to be moved from our capital improvement funds.
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Next, we have policies. These are all to be worn. We have policy number 2401, access control and visitor management. Policy number 2470, fire and emergency preparedness drills. Policy number 3100, transportation. Policy number 4001, harassment of employees. Policy 4003, bullying prevention adults. We do, I did speak with Lisa about this, and we do actually need motions to warn on our policies. So I'll entertain a motion to warn all of those policies as I read.
So moved.
Is there a second? Discussion. Any of them? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, any other business to be brought before the board? Great, hearing none, we have an FYI, which is your budget status report. It is on the website, looks like. I don't know if that's exactly what we're looking for, I just saw that.
No, that's, what she posts is year to date.
Year to date.
And we're just starting, so there's no money spent.
Great. Okay, now we get a motion to adjourn. For a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We are adjourned at 6:30. Thank you.